Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Hometown Heroes. I'm Mike Kenichi. I'm real excited today because if you followed the town of Derby, one of the things you know about the town of Derby is the excellent running program they have that's been going on for many years. Uh, a lot has to do with Mike Gazzo, who started the running club, I would say probably 12 years ago, and he's done a great job. And we have three members of that running club today. They are the captains of the summer running club at the moment. And first, we have Sasha Capelle. Um, we also have Emilia Hejmowski, and we have Maya Winkowski. And girls, I want to thank you for coming on today. It's a real honor for me, and thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
For having us.
Thank you for having us.
Yep, no problem. So, Sasha, I'll start with you. You know, you've had quite the year, but let me ask you, how did the love for running start with you?
Um, it kind of started because my brother, like, he kind of introduced me into running, and he got me to like it. Like, yeah.
Right, and let me ask you, Sasha. One of the toughest things about you know running year in and year out is, I mean, you really have to be motivated because you could have good days and you could have bad days. It's not always easy. So, uh, how do you keep yourself motivated throughout the year? Because you run year round, correct?
Yeah. Um, you just have to learn to like it, because if you don't like it, then you're not gonna want to keep doing it like every day, and you just like, I don't know, you um I forgot. Yeah.
Yeah. I just said, how do you keep yourself motivated throughout the years?
Um. Well, the only way to get better is to practice. So, if I keep showing up, it motivates me to like then work harder and uh, get faster.
Right. So, Maya, let me ask you this. This was your first year doing running, correct?
Yeah.
So, just talk about what made you decide to go out for it and how has the experience been thus far?
Um, well, I first started running for cross country because I wanted to try something new. And so far, running with everybody and Mr. Gazzo, it's been like really fun, and everybody's like super nice. And it's like kind of like your own like little family at like school.
Right. And I mean, you've really had a great year doing it for a first time runner. And I would think about this, Maya, just the fact that you were named captain in your first year, that had to be a great feeling as well.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So, Amelia, you've been running for quite a bit now. I would say 2 years. And I understand this past week, I think it was July 3rd on Wednesday, you ran or actually, was it July 4th? It was one of those days you ran a race in the morning and you finished second, which was pretty impressive. So, talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, the heat was like really bad, so my time got affected a lot by that, but it was something.
Right. And just talk to me about, I mean, what do you have to do, Amelia, to prepare yourself when you know you got a race coming up? What are some of the things that, go into preparing for a race?
Usually I just sleep off the stress, but
Right,
uh,
right.
and then I just make sure to drink like a lot of water.
Right. So, Sasha, let me ask you this. You've had quite a impressive resume lately, and correct me if I'm wrong. You recently broke the school record for the 400 meter. I think you got a time of 63.29. So, just
Yeah.
talk about that because the record you broke was by one of the greatest runners to ever come out of Derby, and that was Kylie Rodriguez. So, just talk about that moment for you and what that was like.
It was like, I was pretty shocked because I didn't think I was gonna be able to like break it, but um, wait, what was the question?
Um, Breaking the 400 meter, the school record and stuff like that. I mean, that's pretty impressive. And you have the middle school record as of right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Um,
just talk about what that moment was like. And I know you've heard of Kylie Rodriguez and how successful she was to Derby running. So, I mean, to have your name
Yeah.
kind of up there with somebody of that caliber, that had to be a great feeling for you.
Yeah, I broke the record at states. Well, I broke it in a meet before states, but I was able to improve the time when I ran at states.
Right. And what? Let me ask you more than anything else, Sasha, because you have great coaches who really help you girls. There's of course Coach Gaza, Coach Sheridan, and of course I don't know what the future is going to bring as far as running goes, but you have Coach Muzz at the high school level. So what have the coaches meant to the three of you throughout your development of running?
Are we starting with me?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. They're really encouraging, and they push us to work harder, but like not too hard, and they're just very motivational.
Yeah.
And
And
just help.
yeah. And Emilia, I mean, I know they've been very invaluable to all of you. But I mean, really, in a lot of ways, I mean, when you think about it, they're there throughout the year. I mean, at the summer, in the summertime, they're there. I know Coach Gazzo is very big at meeting at the river walk and giving the girls a chance to, work on their times, and the boys as well. So, I mean, how important has he been, and Coach Sheridan as well?
He's been very important. He's like one of the people who's like really been motivating me because like I'm kind of like the reason. Well, not the reason, but he's like been like one of my biggest motivators. So
Right. And Maya, what's also very impressive about you, not just the running aspect, is what you do in the classroom. You're also a part of student council, and you're also on the National Junior Honor Society, correct? So just talk about, it's great to be a great athlete and a great runner and everything else you might do, but being successful in the classroom is the most important thing. So just talk about, how important it is that when you're doing sports at the school to make sure that you're keeping up with your grades.
Um, well, since you have to keep up with your grades, it's like important because like if you don't like do good in class, then like they might not let you run as much.
Right,
So you have to do good in class and in the running so you could like it a lot.
right. And you know, let me ask you, as far as student council goes, I mean, do you plan on eventually running for like a officer position? Would you like to be, president or vice president someday as student council?
Maybe I might want to be vice president next year. I might want to try that out.
Right. And Maya, the other thing too, which I'm sure helps you with running because a lot of stretching is involved in this and a lot of conditioning and cardio. But you also do jujitsu. So just talk about how helpful that is because it could kind of help you with running as well, just keeping you in shape and stuff. So talk about that a little bit.
Well, yeah, jujitsu it like keeps me in shape because we do like a lot of drills to like keep us like what's it called in like shape and everything. So like we don't get lazy and like we just keep on doing it, and that really helps a lot in running because it like helps like me it like motivates me to do better.
Right. Sasha, you also play soccer, correct? Talk
Yes.
about that because again, that also helps with running because that's pretty much anytime you're on the soccer field, you're running up and down the field. And I mean, if you're playing at Derby's field, for instance, you're going 100 yards all the time back and forth because pretty much that's what the field is. So just talk about how that helps you as far as running goes throughout the year.
Yeah. So soccer helps me a lot during running because it makes me stronger for when I do run, and also it helps build up my endurance for running, and also like during the season um I do soccer like 4 times a week
Right.
after running practices. So um it's yeah I don't know, but it like helps a lot.
Right. And Sasha and Maya, I believe recently, well, I shouldn't say recently, but definitely probably around the winter time, there was a race called the Chili Chill. And Sasha, you finished first, and Maya, you finished second. So I'm sure as teammates, that's a thrill for both of you because you bring out the best in each other, and the fact that you finished 1 and 2 in a race like that had to be a great feeling for both of you.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, let me ask you, Sasha, what is it like winning a race? Because you know how hard it is to compete in a race. And then when you actually win a race like that, what does that feel like to you knowing that you finished first?
It feels really good because you put in a lot of hard work. You put in a lot of hard work, and to I'm just laughing at the picture. And for that to like show in the results, it feels really nice.
Right. And Emilia, you know, I'll tell you what, not only are you a tremendous runner, but I also talked about honor society and stuff. I mean, you were on the junior honor society. Uh, Again, I talked about you finishing second in that race the other day. But you've also run a lot of local road races as well, correct? So talk about that a little bit.
So my first road race, I came in first for my age category, so that was like really great for me because it's nice to know that like to win something.
Right. I mean, it's got to be a great feeling. I mean, the fact that you know that when you're being recognized for something you do well, and you know all the hard work that goes into it. And the other thing is, girls, anybody could answer this. I don't care who does. It is not easy to run cross country. I mean, people think it's easy, but I mean, there's a lot of training that goes on running on the road. It's not easy to run on the road. I mean, how difficult could that be at times?
Um, it can be difficult because like the weather kind of like can change how you run. Like
Right.
if it's like hot outside, it can like slow you down by like a lot.
Right. And let me ask you, I know, Maya, I'll ask you first. I know Coach Gazzo, Coach Sheridan, they're very helpful, like you said, and they've really helped you girls and the boys with the success you've had with running. But I mean, I'm sure throughout the middle school, you have teachers that really mentor you and stuff. I mean, are there any in particular in the school that you kind of really, they've been really helpful for you just for advice and stuff like that?
Well, one of my sixth grade teachers, Miss Andrews, she was a captain for the cross country team also. So she also motivated me to run and everything like that.
Right. And I mean, girls, I know it's like looking ahead a little bit, but I mean, is running something that you want to do beyond the middle school? I know sometimes you try different sports when you're young in elementary school and then even when you get to junior high. But I mean, when you get to high school, is the goal to run in some capacity?
Yeah.
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 Yeah. You know, I mean, it really seems like each one of you, you know, really enjoy it. And the other thing, too, you know, Sasha, back to you for a second. You're captain in all three of the running programs, right? Cross country, track, and the summer one as well. So, I mean, let me ask you, what is it? It's easy to, you know, be elected captain, but then when you're captain, you know, there's a lot of leadership that goes into that. But like I said, all of you have done so well in the classroom and you know what it takes to be a leader when it comes to student council and stuff. But Sasha, how important is it to be a good captain? Because you, like I said, you could be elected captain and you get that great honor, but then you really have to, you know, lead by example. So talk about that a little bit.
It's really like being a captain is important because not only you need to be motivated yourself, but you also have to motivate all your teammates and just help them. Like, and yeah.
Right. And Maya, I mean, for you, being elected captain of the summer running team, like I
Mhm.
said, that has to be a great feeling because you've only run this 1 year. And that says a lot about what your teammates and your coaches think of you that they elected you captain. So, I mean, one, that has to be a tremendous feeling. But two, how important is it for you to make sure that you're, you know, being a good leader when you're out there?
Well, you kind of have to like try your best in all like the running that you do. So like the people who aren't captain can like try to do their best too. Because if they want to be captain one day, also.
Right, right. And I mean, the thing of it is too is that it gives the younger kids something to strive for. I mean, and they're seeing like great leaders like the three of you, and the three of you, how well you run and stuff like that. So I mean, you don't necessarily have to be, you know, you don't have to be vocal all the time to be a great leader. You could lead by how you show up to practice every day, how you
Mhm.
preparate, and you go out there and you run and you work hard and stuff like that. So being a good leader doesn't mean you just have to be loud. You just have to lead by example. So Emilia, another event that you that you won, I think it was back in March or April. That's one of the big events they do each year is the Knights of Columbus 5K. Talk to me about that, and talk to me too, Amelia, because when you run a 5K race, you have to pace yourself. You have to make sure that you're going at a decent speed, but you also don't want to come out of the gate too fast because then you're not going to be able to, finish strong at the end. So, talk to me about running a 5K race and the importance of making sure you pace yourself.
So you have to pace yourself because like you don't want to go out too fast or too slow because that can like affect your time and like how you feel when you run. And when you like run a 5K, you have to like try to go out not too fast at the beginning and then like stay at like a decent speed that you can stay for a really long time and just
Right,
try to do that for the entire time.
right. And let me ask you, a 5K race. I mean, it seems like it's so long when you're running it, but I'm sure as you're running a race and you're competing against other girls, it seems like I don't want to say it seems short, but it just seems like that you don't have time to think about stuff that it's like you just kind of look at like you're running by yourself even though you have a lot of people running with you.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So Maya, let me ask you this because I thought about this as well. How a lot that goes into running is stretching before you run, stretching after you run, and then doing a warm up run, and then doing a cool down run. You want to keep your legs fresh. So, how important each time that you go out there and run are those four things important to a runner?
Well, like it's really important to like stretch and all that because like you don't want to like injure
Right,
like your legs or anything like that.
right,
Oh, so you want to like stretch as much as possible so like your like legs don't like start to cramp and like so you could keep on running to your like fullest ability.
right. So, Sasha, talk to me about some of the runners on the team right now. Who are some of the runners that have been running a few years, and who are some of the ones that came out for the first time that you could really see down the road being impactful to the Derby running program?
Um, well, Amelia and Maya.
Right,
Um, let me think. Um,
right. Well, we could come back to it.
okay.
Right. Let me ask you three girls something. I'm sure one of the things though that's really like I said, invaluable to, or rewarding, I should say, to being a runner on the running program is the friendships you make with other kids. And I'm sure you three, being captains and running together all year, you three have become very good friends. So just talk about how, rewarded it is not only to run, to be recognized for what you do, but also the friendships that you're making along the way. And anybody could answer that. Amelia, go ahead. We'll start with you.
Like it's like Maya said, it's like a mini family, and like it's really good to be like part of something that's really fun.
Right. And Sasha, you've been running the longest, I believe, and like what goes into it. You know that each year you might add runners, you may lose some runners at times, but how instrumental is it in the success of Derby High School? Because without a great feeder program like the one that you girls and the boys are doing, Derby wouldn't be successful at running without the great feeder programs that they have for all you kids. So talk about how important that is.
It's really important to start running. Like, you can't just go. Well, I mean, you can, but it would be really hard to just start running in high school because you won't have like experience running. So it's really important for programs like these to start getting kids introduced to the sport like sooner.
Right. Maya, let me ask you this. I know it was only your first year running, but are there any runners at the high school level that you've been able to watch or, go to a meet and you see them running that you really like look up to and say, wow, he or she is just great to watch run? Are there anybody in particular?
No, not really. I don't really watch the high school run that much.
Right. Amelia, let me ask you, have you been able to attend any of the high school meets over the last couple of years?
I haven't really like been able to go anywhere much because I just have too much to do.
Right. So, Sasha, let me ask you, talk about each week. So, let's talk about when Monday comes. What will you girls do throughout the week as far as running goes? How many times will you meet a week and for how long?
Are you talking about during the summer?
Yes. Yeah.
So during the summer, it varies. We normally, well, on Monday, sometimes we have practice. We, I think we have practice on Monday, but on Saturday, there's a practice at the Riverwalk, and and then there's normally a track workout, maybe sometimes two, like during the week, and maybe sometimes on the Riverwalk, like another day.
Right. And Maya, one of the things that's very difficult sometimes when you're running is you've seen these last few weeks, the heat has been just unbearable at times. It's been so hot out.
Hmm.
What do you have to do to get through a workout when it's hot like it is? I know you have to stay hydrated, but what do you try to do to, keep yourself focused? Because it's not easy running in that heat.
Well, like one thing that motivates like everybody to run is to like try to beat Mr. Gazzo, even if it's like hot out. Like we always like try to beat Mr. Gazzo and everything. So that's kind of like that kind of motivates us to run. So, yeah. And like if it's too hot outside, like you could slow yourself down and everything like that to like so you could breathe and everything like that better.
Right. And one thing about Mr. Gazzo, I know that you wouldn't be a member of his running program without a nickname. Does he have a nickname for the three of you?
Um, my nickname's kind of Little Buddy because I
and
started running when I was little.
right. And Amelia, have you been able to get a nickname from him yet? Or
I think he just calls me E sometimes.
and Maya, I know it's your first year running, but I mean, I've yet to know that guy without him having a nickname for each of his students and runners. Have you been honored with a nickname yet?
Not really. He started calling me a clown, but then he stopped. So, yeah.
Right. And the other thing too is I believe he teaches social studies.
Mhm.
Now, again, I don't know if he's at the seventh grade or eighth grade level, but have any of you had him for a teacher yet?
No, he's at the eighth grade level. So me and Amelia are gonna have him next year. Well, this year, I mean.
Right. So let me ask you, I'll start with you, Maya. What is your goal for to the 2024-2025 season as far as running goes up? What is the one goal you have in mind for that year?
Well, it's to get better at running and try to run in more like 5Ks and like races.
Right. And now let me ask you, uh, do they have an indoor program for all the girls and boys at the middle school level?
Like an indoor program, like
Like
indoor
indoor
running.
track, indoor track.
We don't have an indoor track at our school, but during like the winter, we run inside the halls after school.
Right. Uh, Sasha, you've been running for so long now. What is the ultimate goal for you as you enter your final year at the Derby Middle School?
It's just to I don't really set that many goals for myself,
Right.
so I don't really know.
So I would say probably just to have fun more than anything else.
Yeah, just to have fun, just to keep running.
Right. And Amelia, again, you had a good race the other day, so you kind of started off the summer with a great, great little goal right there. What's the goal for you in your final year of middle school?
I just like get a really try to have like a really good time, but also try to like work hard so you can get somewhere in like life.
Right. And Sasha, I know you play soccer. Maya, I know you do jujitsu, but are there any other sports at the school that you girls plan on participating with, or are you strictly going to stick with running?
I'm just gonna stick with running.
Yeah,
Right.
stick with running.
Yeah.
Right. And girls, I mean, it's not an easy sport. I know a lot of people sometimes say, "Oh, running, you just run and you're done," but it's not easy. One day your legs could cooperate, the next day you could feel sore. You never know what to expect each time you run out there. But it seems like to me the thing that's going to help the three of you more than anything else is all three of you are determined and motivated, and that really is what it takes to be a successful athlete. Never mind just a runner. So it seems like the three of you have that attitude that let's go out there and do the best we can, and I think that'll really help you in the long run. Right. So, Sasha, before we go, what would be the thing that you would say to say a kid who's at Bradley or Urban School right now that's in fourth grade and wants to come out for the running program? What advice would you give them?
Um, just to keep going, like if they want to start running.
Right.
Um,
And
to
yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
just to just try it out, and if you don't like it, you don't have to stay with it, but just keep trying. Like show up to, or uh, just to like just make sure you actually enjoy it before you try to force yourself into something that you don't like to do.
Right. And Amelia, you had a runner who didn't have the best day running their race or whatever, and you could see like they feel a little discouraged. What advice would you give to that runner about, who had a rough race? What would you tell them going forward?
Like, don't give up yet. Like, at least try hard, but like, if you really just like, just try hard, but like, don't give up.
Right. And that's really a good message to send. And Maya, what would you say to a kid who's thinking about coming out for the running program? They're not really sure, they want to, but they're a little nervous, a little hesitant. What advice would you give them if they came up to you and said, I'm thinking about coming out for the running program?
I will tell them that they should and that everybody will help them get better at running, especially the coaches, and like their teammates will like motivate them to keep on running, and everybody's like super nice.
Excellent. Great answer. Well, girls, I really appreciate you giving me a few minutes today. First off, I congratulate all the work that you've been doing and the success you've been having. Just keep up the great work. We're going to continue to watch you and see how you progress, but I know you're going to do great things, not only at the middle school level, but at the high school level as well. And just keep up the great work. And I really do thank you for giving me some time today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, there you have it, folks. The Derby running program has had so many great runners over the years. We're talking now, I would say, well over 20 years and even before that. But, the only way a running program is going to be successful is if the kids go out there and they give 100%. Well, you just heard from Emilia, Maya, and Sasha today. These three are proof that with dedication, hard work, and commitment, you could go a long way in running. And these three are examples of that. For Hometown Heroes, I'm Mike Kenichi saying good night, everyone.